Hey Mark, here we have your Laredo Sabers Shaak-Ti hilt with removable cover. Got your little magnets in there, so that holds in. Got your two buttons, 7/8 blade, and unfortunately I do not have a 7/8 blade available today. I sold mine about 2 weeks ago to someone who was in an emergency and needed it, and my new ones are not here yet. But I have tested it with an adapter on a 1-inch blade, and it works perfectly. So, got your hilt, and this is the important part, the chassis. Got your, it's a CC Sabers V3 emitter. There is your, this is what we were waiting on. That is your lit dual switch PCB from Laredo Sabers. And here's the crystal chamber I built for you. It's got some brass and the crystal that you picked out, and it fits in there perfectly. Now this is not glued in, it is press fit in, but if you pull it out, you're probably gonna upset the wires in there. It will not come out unless you kind of pry it out. So don't suggest it. Got your battery, positive, spring side's negative, and we have our speaker down here, which is now a KR 28mm. Has the exact same specs as the Smuggler's Outpost speaker that you had that did not work out. And then we've got a kill switch up here, and obviously you've got your Proffie 3.9. So let's get a battery in here and check it out. Like I said, spring side is your negative. Put it in there. Flip the switch.
We have a job to do!
And let's cover that up so you can see. There's your crystal glowing. That looks gorgeous in there. That is just the absolute perfect size crystal. And then we've got our two lights. They are currently set to white for all of your fonts, as requested. Like I said, there is a, they are set up, it is one board with 2 pixels, but in the config I have subdivided them into sub-blades, so you can choose, and each one has its own, you know, you can do whatever you want. You can set them up to do what the crystal does. You can make them, you know, blink, whatever you like. So let's put this in here. Now, as you can see, there is a slot right here. That needs to line up with your switches. So that goes in. And then here. You can also see down here, there are 2 little keyed areas that fit into those little keyed slots inside the hilt. Push just a little bit. Tighten that up. And that does, it presses on the edge of the speaker, not the actual speaker. It goes on the very, the plastic part around the outside, so it holds the whole thing still. You don't want to crank it too tight, but it is not going to hurt the speaker. So now you've got your 2 lit white buttons, and you can see the crystal. You can pull that off if you want to see it directly. But it looks, in person, doesn't maybe not look on the camera quite as good, but in person, looking through that grill, it looks gorgeous. So, top button is your activation. You can see the crystal reacting.
Always remember, your focus determines your reality. This party's over.
See that crackle is completely gone now with this new speaker.
At last we will have revenge.
Party Saber.
Master Kenobi, you disappoint me.
And we're back. This is an absolutely gorgeous hilt. I think Laredo Sabers and whoever else they worked with on this did a fantastic job. The kind of like little rubberized coating they've got inside these little slots, the brass work. I mean, the only negative I have, in my personal opinion, is that your blade retention to get to your blade retention, you've got to take off these parts here, and you've got your little blade retention screw right there. And then you got to keep that little piece separate and then screw that back on. You know, if this is going to be sitting on a shelf, that's not that big a deal. But if you want to use it a lot, I think that would be, I find it annoying, but it makes it look great. I mean, you can't see any screws or anything, which I know a lot of people hate. So if you have any questions about it, you let me know, and I will get this shipped out pretty soon.